It's funny how I come up with these things. As I said, I'm working on a new schedule. So Mondays is 3D printing, and Wednesdays is TV and movies, and Fridays more of a free-for-all. Now, the reason I say it's funny is because this is Wednesday. So let's talk about a TV show or movie. The thing is, I found a really cool print, but it dovetails really nicely. So I had this really cool print that is from a show in the 80s I really enjoyed. It was called Voyagers, and it's an Omni and a time travel device. Now the question is, I wonder, does it actually work? Yeah, looks like it does. Or not. Okay, I'm being a bit of a goof here. This is, well, here, let's do this first, and then I will show you what I'm talking about. So this is a Voyagers Omni. This was the time travel device that they use in Voyagers. So this is obviously just in natural filament. I'm going to paint it. And basically, it gets brass. And then this is a globe. You can see that very well. And so that'll be blue and green. And these rings, it is month, day, year, century. And you can't see it here. If I bring it to the camera, I'm probably not going to focus, but we'll try. There actually are, can we get that? Numbers. See that there? Details on that. Oh, and there's the globe. Now, my friend Mark makes a really cool copy of this. Anyway, so this is the Voyager Omni that they use to travel through time. It was real simple. Let's take this back up top. So my friend Mark makes one of these out of brass. He etched it, and it's pretty awesome. Now, when I was a kid, this was on, and well, actually, let me show you that. So that is the show I'm talking about. It's called Voyagers. It was 1981, I believe. Anyway, it was in the 80s, early 80s. John Eric Hexum and Mino Plus were the characters. This John Eric Hexum was Phineas Fogg. Phineas Fogg, around the world in 80 days. Phineas Fogg. And he was a time traveler. He traveled through time, and the Omni, which they see in the picture here, would tell them if history was right or not. Look at this. I'm trying to get this so there's no shadows on it. So when they land in a particular time, it said if the light was red, history's wrong. We need to fix it. So the first episode, I'm not going to give any spoilers away because it came out in the 80s. So like it's 40 years old. What happened is every particular Voyager gets a particular time area to deal with. So Boggs' Omni ends in 1970. For some reason, he ends up in 1980. Jeffrey, the young kid, his parents have died. His dad was a history professor. His parents have died, and Boggs lands in his place. Now, all these Voyagers travel with an Omni and a guidebook. And the guidebook says, here's what history is. So when you get there, you need to fix it. Well, he lands there, and then Jeffrey's dog grabs the guidebook, knocks Jeffrey out of the window. Boggs jumps after him, uses the Omni to time travel, and then they're stuck together. And now, because it was 1980 and Boggs' Omni doesn't go to 80s, he can't get Jeffrey back. So they travel together, and it turns out Jeffrey has a really good head for history. So he was the kid who helped Boggs get everything back on track. So at one point, there's no airplanes. So like they're in the 1920s, there's no airplanes. It's because the Wright brothers had a fight and they never invented airplanes. So they have to go back then. It was very cool. It was very period piece. And John Eric Hexum, he was just charming. And he said everything, his curse was bat's breath. And he was a very likable character, and it was sad to hear that he died like a year later. The show didn't get renewed. It was a new show called Models Inc., I think is what it was. And he had a prop gun. Hey, guys! And the wadding, I don't know what apparently he was kind of depressed at the point, but hey guys, watch this, and he killed himself, and it's pretty sad. You know, he had something. There's something about him. He had anyway. It was a fun show because if you look at any of these videos, all 500 of them, there's a theme. I love time travel. Time travel is awesome as far as I'm concerned. So this is a really cool thing. And the nice thing about it, at the end of it, they talk about the Wright brothers or Thomas Edison or whatever. And at the end, Jeffrey, which I'm in, hey, if you want to learn more about the Wright brothers, or go to your local library. You know, much like Sequest did that back in the 90s. They said, hey, here we are, Cetacean Institute. We did this. Go look at this. Go to your local thing and find it out. So it was really good about driving kids to libraries and looking up things. It was very cool. I thought it was great. I wish it went longer. And in looking at this, I do believe that when the person modeled this, you can see that, Earl. There's right along here, time waits for no man. I don't believe that was in the actual show, other than there was, like, everyone traveled with a brass Omni. There was at one point a trial, and the prosecutor had a silver Omni that I had time waits for no man. I haven't watched this in 20 years. I got the kids into it, and they really enjoyed it. We got to the end and went, that's it? That's it. Show's over. Oh. I have a real great knack of picking shows that don't last. All these shows I love don't last. And anyway. So that's what I want to talk about today. If you haven't seen this, it is available on DVD. I'm sure it's available to find. There might be a way to acquire copies of it, but it's fun, and the production values were pretty good. They had a really good time with it, as in the costumes were good, everything was good, and it was enjoyable, and it was a little bit of learning at the same time. Now, when I was a kid, so I was 81. So I was not even in my because I was a teenager at that point. I had an old compass. I turned in my own Omni. I found some pieces. That's really probably one of the first props I ever made, other than Lego props. The first thing I made was I took this and I made a compass into an Omni. So I had a piece of plastic inside that was a dome that I put a picture of an Earth inside, and I made my own. It was really fun to have around. I wish I knew what happened to it. It was a cool prop. I was happy to have it. Oh my goodness, you dumb watch, stop going off. So that is a video for me. If you are looking for something interesting to watch and you have, like, maybe your local library has this, maybe it does, check your local library. It's a fun series to watch, and it's engaging. You can have a good time watching it, and you can learn a little bit about history too. So I'm not going to have this light up. I just don't see the desire to put electronics on something. But what's going to happen here is this side is red and this side is green. So they land, this is flashing red. Nope, wrong. They fix everything green, and actually said it in the series. Yeah, green light, kid, we did it. And then they move on to the next place. And it was a lot of fun. And also the opening music, or and also the time timing. Da 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 da. So I was singing that to the wife today. She just rolled her eyes at me, because she does that a lot. Because if you've looked at any of these videos for any great length of time, you're getting an idea of who I am, the kind of person I am, and I'm just a bit of a goof. So that is my video for today. I hope everyone's having a great day, and we will talk to you all later. And hey, stream tonight at 7:30. Something I've talked about already in some of these videos, but it's a little bit of a chat. Old dogs, new tricks. The fact that I, at 55, am streaming, and the fact that I've just celebrated 3 years on YouTube at my encroaching age, is something to chat about. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So if you have nothing to do, or you're interested, come join me on the channel at 7:30. So that's it for me. Everyone have a great day. We'll talk to you all later.